That's me.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of 22 Minutes with Jason and Stefan. I'm Jason Bates, and is the one, the only Stefan Cotton, the man with the big mug. Not a headset. There you go, the big mug.
I like big
I
mugs.
like big mugs. And
Heck yeah.
we are here to hopefully entertain you and bring you valuable content when it comes to your real estate needs here and around, I guess, here in Arizona and around the country. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance a property, we certainly would love the opportunity to earn your business. If you're watching us there on Facebook, please like our page and share it with your friends and family. You can message us directly from there if you want to reach out to the show. If you're watching us there on Periscope, give us some love, give us some hearts. We'd really appreciate that. And if you're watching the replay on YouTube, give us that thumbs up and subscribe and share and like that page. So with that being said, if you're looking to buy, sell, or refinance, we would love to hear from you soon.
I think the other thing is because you say that we'd love to earn your business. I think they should want to work with us. You know what I mean? Like if you've been watching or listening or periscoping for a while, you know that we bring good quality to this real estate world. So if you have any questions in the real estate realm, we're here to help.
Yeah. Absolutely. We put a lot of time and effort into this show to bring you valuable content because we kind of live and breathe this a little bit, and so we kind of get immune to some of the things that are out there. So we want to bring good, valuable content to people. And I've spoken to a lot of people. There's not a lot of good content out there. So that's what this show's all about, is bringing that good content out there for you. Okay, with that being said, let's get to today's tweet quote of the day. All right, this is still a holiday-themed tweet here. It's a letter to Santa. It says, "Dear Santa, the year," and it's a little hard for me to read here, so I'm going to move up here a little bit to the TV here, I guess, or the monitor. "Dear Santa, the year Xmas, this year I'd like for my dad to stop being a Browns fan." The Brown. Maybe that should be Cardinals fan.
Right. Well, Browns are 0 and whatever, 14, 13.
Yeah.
So
They make him drink a lot,
Aw.
which is pretty sad. I would like for him to be a Steelers fan instead. I want to be I can't really read his writing here, but I can't. It says I think it says, "I want to be one to be. Please help me. Get me a Christmas miracle."
That's funny.
So that is, and then signed by Brian McAfee. This thing is like trending all over Twitter. I've seen it a couple different places. So I thought that was kind of cute for a Christmas letter, and I thought it was kind of appropriate for this time of year.
It's one of those things where which came first. I started drinking because I'm a Browns fan, or I'm a Browns fan because I started drinking.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm from Columbus, Ohio, so we were always kind of torn between the Browns and the Bengals. Of course, you have Detroit, that's not too far away, and of course you have Pittsburgh, that isn't too far away from Columbus, and then you also have Indianapolis, not too far away from Columbus. So we're kind of in the middle of all those professional sports teams. And since Brian Sipe, I think it was the quarterback from the '80s, the Browns really haven't done much of anything.
Right. Well, they moved to Baltimore and then won a championship, but that's
that's true.
That's no
Modell or something like that, I think, is the owner or whatever. All right, so this is the Trending Tuesday episode, so let's get right to it. All right, so this is Trending Tuesday, so we want to talk about the trends that are happening in real estate. And I first want to start off here, Stefan, with interest rates. I was speaking to actually my wife. She called me before the show and said, "Hey, why don't you talk about interest rates and trending, because it's been on the news and a lot of people are freaking out that interest rates have gone up so dramatically in a short period of time." So this is all very, very true. And in fact, I spoke to somebody even yesterday who said to me, "Hey, I feel like I missed the boat." And I want to let everybody know you haven't necessarily missed the boat. Interest rates are still very, very low. They did trend up very quickly. They have leveled off, but there's still great opportunities out there. Especially like Stefan, you've mentioned before, a lot of the ARMs, people that are in ARMs that are out there. They still can look at refinancing into a fixed rate loan and still get a very, very good interest rate historically.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, people we're stressing because we're above that 4% now. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
are
right.
you kidding me? I mean, we would have killed for 4. We would have killed for 6% 4 years ago. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, I think it was about 5%. Yeah, about that time. But it's one of those things where it's all perception.
yeah.
Yeah, your purchase power has diminished a little bit, but you're still getting a great value for a house. And then um, the the overall thing is the interest rates have gone up, but it doesn't affect your payment that much. Like I know 1 point affects it about 10% of the purchase power. Um, so if you're 200, but I don't know if that affects. If you're 200, your purchase power is now 180 for the same payment. But I don't know. So now you buy the same house and you're paying $60 more a month or something for the 10K increase. If you can still afford it, then it's still an opportunity for you. And it hasn't gone up a full point. So I mean, some of these numbers I'm saying are a little bit more. Maybe that's part of the confusion too. They've gone up, but they haven't gone a full point up, right?
Yeah, no, it's gone up about 3/4 of a point, which that is significant in a short period of time. But as I was telling the customer yesterday, look, this is actually a good thing in the grand scheme of things. Remember, the markets are always trying to anticipate what's going to happen in the future, and so with what's being said with the newly elected Trump administration, there's a lot of positivity happening in the secondary markets, and because of that, the markets are reacting in a very favorable way. I mean, if you have a 401k out there, you're probably very, very happy. It's hit record highs.
Right.
So there is and the other thing that I think is even more important, we haven't seen pay increases for individuals, substantial pay increases over the past 4 or 5 years, even longer, really.
Yeah.
And if this trend continues, that the economy moves in the right direction, and companies then are going to be fighting for your skill set for their workforce, which means that you now could potentially get a pay raise because there's more competition for what you do as an individual.
Right.
And so when you get a pay raise, that offsets what interest rates are doing. So it's all kind of relative, I guess, is what I'm trying to get
Right.
at. But
Well, like Christian's going to be getting a pay raise in about 5 months, and then Randall, who we talked about last weekend, he's getting a pay raise already. We just don't know if it's like 6% or higher. So even our buyers are getting pay raises, and so the houses that they can afford today, they're going to be able to afford, and then some next year. So
absolutely. And then with disposable income, if some rollbacks happen with Obamacare, we'll see what happens there. But if that gets rolled back a little bit, where we have more disposable income for individuals, that's more money in circulation. The economy does well. Our taxes don't go up. We have better police forces and firefighters, and everything's in good shape. So not all is doom and gloom. And also, I want to make mention, my wife told me to mention this too. If you're in that higher interest rate bracket and you're looking to refinance, maybe you're upside down or maybe close or not quite upside down now, you may want to think about looking at a 15-year option as well, because interest rates on 15-year options are very, very good.
right.
So that's an option too. So if you want to do that, here's my Twitter handle. Reach out to me. Love to talk to you. All right, so let's get into...
Or talk to your wife, because she seems to know what's going on.
Yeah, she knows what's going on.
She's doing a great job.
She is. She keeps me on track. She definitely keeps me on track.
Talk about this. Yeah.
Right. Right. Exactly. So, hey, I want to let's talk about what's coming up here in Phoenix. We've got a lot of things coming up. This is our hot season, right? This is when Phoenix really gets a lot of national exposure, and we're talking about. And I'm going to play some, or I'll put some of the logos up here for us. We've got Country Thunder. We've got the Fiesta Bowl. We have the Final Four coming up. We've got the Waste Management big golf tournament coming up. The Cactus Bowl, and then we also have Barrett Jackson. Thank you. Yeah, Barrett Jackson. Just to name a few. So we have quite a few of these things coming up. So how does this relate to real estate?
Right. And it's because everywhere else is cold and nobody wants to be where they're at. So they come down. And so what a great opportunity to come down here. And I think we're going to hit about 70 degrees today. We're making light of how nice it is out here for us. But people come here and they're like, wow, this is nice. And if you can still pick up a piece of pie for like $800 a month, a nice little 1 or 2 bedroom house, to come down here, rent it out, or move down here, or whatever. The opportunity is there. So the question is, how does it trend for real estate? We were talking about Uber drivers getting a lot of conversation about. So what do you guys see here, and what's going on?
Yeah.
Our prices, we say it a lot. Our prices are relatively low, or extremely low, compared to the other major West Coast cities, or the west side cities.
Yeah, no, Phoenix is very affordable. I mean, when you look at what we have to offer, sports and all the things that we just mentioned, Fiesta Bowl, all the activities, and these are just some of the things that are happening. I mean, really, this is the outdoors period of Phoenix. I mean, you've got arts festivals, you've got all kinds of things going on right now, and people fly in from other parts of the country to be a part of this great weather that you mentioned. And I was talking to a buddy of mine who is a Uber driver, and he gets asked all the time about what's happening in real estate here. People fall in love when they come to Arizona. That's a good thing. Most Phoenicians are transplants from other places.
Right, I am.
Yeah, and I am. Right. So this is all good for the real estate market. As we get more and more national exposure, it really helps the real estate market and helps stabilize it.
Remind me to give that Uber driver a bunch of cards.
All right.
or maybe what I do is I just start taking Uber and hand out like 30 cards to each Uber driver.
Just leave some in the back seat. Just like, oh, they fell out of my pocket.
I control his destiny by my Uber rating. So, you know what I mean? Like every time he sends me a lead, then
yeah, there you go. So with that, I want to talk a little bit about Airbnbs. Airbnbs, and this is kind of, this is going to be in your wheelhouse here, Stefan.
Right.
Airbnbs, bed and breakfasts, right?
Right.
They're kind of a big deal here, given all the exposure that we have, and a lot of people coming in from out of town.
It's another big trend here that we're having during the winter months. People that have a rental, maybe they're getting $1,200 a month rent or $1,500 a month rent throughout the year. They're getting $250 a day on Airbnb this time of year. So it's an amazing opportunity for an investor, or vice versa, somebody flying down to come check out, get into the thick of things, like get down at Old Scottsdale for $250 a night and have your own house, 3-bedroom for your friends.
Right.
The opportunity now, because of the internet and because of that Airbnb and the apps that are out there, to make money is ridiculous. I wish I had 3 or 4 furnished places I could throw on the Airbnb.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why we get a lot of investors that come here because I mean, literally, you can rent these places out, especially Final Four. I don't know what a place would go for the Final Four, depending on the team, I suppose, and how well that team travels. But if it was a big team, I would suspect you could get a lot of money for a bed and breakfast that could cover your expenses for quite some time throughout that year.
And you mentioned Cactus League. People don't understand how important Cactus League is, because that's a full month of baseball.
Yeah.
That's 15 baseball teams and 15 towns, or 14 towns from out of state because of the Diamondbacks. But 14 towns, about 30,000 visitors every week coming in to watch their teams play a couple games for $6 or $9. I can't remember which one is 6 and which one's 9. It's either the beer is $6 or the tickets are $6, and then the other one's $9.
They're cheap. That's pretty cheap, actually. I mean, when you think about some of these ballparks around the country, that's definitely cheap. And by the way, I mentioned the Cactus Bowl, but I'm glad you mentioned the Cactus League, because that is the major league spring training that we have here in Phoenix.
So March is ridiculous here.
Yeah, it's crazy in March. There's a lot of out-of-staters. It's really, really, and I like it. I like the buzz. I like what's happening as far as that goes. So it brings a lot of money to our community, which is awesome. Hey, I want to also talk about trends that are happening as far as listings go. And I got to take a swig of water here, but I want to show a chart here. So let's get to a chart here. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, let's get to this chart here. I'm going to share screen. Hopefully this is going to work out. So hopefully let's give it a shot here. This is a chart, and this is from the Cromford report. And I'm going to kind of scroll up. These are active listings and the counts of active listings that are on the market today. And let me scroll over just to the right here. So currently, right now, it looks like we have about 19,000, almost 20,000 active listings. Now, these encompass all listings. And if I hover my mouse over this, I know you can't really see it, but it's considered to be a normal market. But more importantly, I want you to kind of speak of kind of where this chart is kind of going, because it does kind of flow here a little bit. So if I move over, this is at a low point of inventory. You'll notice it's kind of like mid-September, August, the end of summer, before kids go back to school, kind of thing. Inventory tends to dip.
Right.
Right.
There's a few reasons for the dipping, specifically this year. The election and stuff really slowed the market down, and you'll see that if you on that conference report, if you go back 4 years, it's very similar too.
Yeah.
But and similar to 4 years ago, which was the very beginning of the, we're going to have that going on here very, very soon. We just got, I think, 4 listings in the last 10 days.
Yeah.
For people that see that interest rates have gone up a little bit,
Yeah.
and then it's better to get your house on the market now if you're going to try to get the top dollar versus the adjustment that might be coming.
Yeah, especially with all the exposure that we're getting, right? So last year, in August of last year, was kind of the low point there. And this is just HUD listings, okay? If I go to the normal, if I scroll down here a little bit, normal listings here were 16,000 listings for August. And then you'll see this little peak down here. This is January of this year. So we typically, in December, where we're at right now, we'll see a little uptick. We'll see them come up. And then Christmas kind of hits January, and everybody says, okay, let's take the house off the market. So then it'll dip down in January, February. And then everybody, and I always kind of refer to it as Super Bowl weekend. After Super Bowl, it seems like everybody floods the market and puts their house on the market. And so I wanted to show this chart here for those of you who are thinking to sell your home, that this is actually a pretty good time. There's not as much competition out there if you're looking to sell your home. To go ahead and list it. And there are buyers out there, especially buyers who are kind of freaking out about the interest rates. They don't want them to go up anymore. So I've seen some more activity as far as applications go. People jumping off the fence saying, I better get in right now before interest rates get above 5%. So now might not be a bad time to go ahead and list your property.
Well, they're moving. We have I think 7 or 8 active listings right now. We got 3 offers last week on our properties. One of our listings is a $2 million plus property, which doesn't move as quickly because the buyer pulls a little less.
Yeah.
Plus it's an alien vortex house, so you know the one. But
yeah, that can hurt a little bit. Hey, let's move on to the next chart here. This is just number of month supply. This top number here, 5.4 here. This was done in January. So in January, we'll see number of month supply kind of peak. And if you kind of look at this chart, that was in 2014. If we look at the peak at last year, it was January 24th. It was 5 month supply. And if we look at the other peak here, it was January of this year. It's kind of a peak. And then the low months are going to be in the summer months, the number of supply. That's all supply and demand.
So this is it's very good to see that the January 24th, because I always say it's about January 10th is when you say it's after the Super Bowl, which is the first week of February. Yeah. I say it's like January 10th we start seeing the rev up. And then what this means is, from my experience, is people start listing their houses on January 10th after everyone leaves and stuff. Some move, some don't, but as they keep listing and keep listing, the people start buying. I'm picking them off, even if on let's say that January 20th, the highest one at 5.4, January 25th, where it says a 5.4 month supply, that quickly dropped down to, I'm looking at the May, down to 3 month supply. So what that means is 5.4 months, but all the buyers are coming in. The other big trend that we have in January and February is taxes. People getting their tax returns for down payments. So the inventory starts January 10th, peaks at the 3rd week of January, and then people start buying them because people are getting their tax returns back, and then more people start buying because they're here for the Super Bowl or they're here for visiting friends and family. Then they're here for the that Super Bowl weekend's the PGA tournament too, so they're here for that, and then inventory gets eaten up, and then March Madness, not just March Madness for the NCAA, but I call it March Madness here because of the Cactus League.
Right.
And that's why when you see, it takes about 40 days to close, typically. Yeah. So if you look at the very bottom of any of these years, it's probably about May.
Well, it's generally right around June is when the supply kind of goes down. So,
Yeah, 2.1.
and that's just more competition. People wanting to get into homes and get settled before the kids go back to school, typically, because
Right.
most home buyers are family, typical families or whatever. Not a lot of single people, although that has been a trend. A lot of single women are purchasing homes, but for
Right.
supply, if you're going to kind of play the supply game, we get asked all the time, what's the best time to sell? What's the best time of year to buy? These sort of things play a big role in that, right? Supply and demand. So you want to know kind of the charts there of what the supply and demand are. All right.
The idea is if you have 5 months worth of supply, you have a little bit more options.
Yeah.
But it also, you got to tie that in with what you can afford.
Yeah.
Like if the perfect house hits the market today, but we're only at a 3 month supply, it's still a great time to buy because you found the house you wanted for the price you wanted.
Right.
And vice versa, if you're ready to list and you need to list your house because you need to make a move, it's better to do it now rather than wait.
Right.
With that said, the only exception I would say is listing a house in May or June in an adult community, because the adult active communities, those buyers typically are gone until about this time, because you don't want to list your house in June or July in Sun City or Sun Lakes or something
Right.
in June and then wait 6 months for the buyers to come back down.
Right. All right, so let's get to the last trend. This is kind of a fun little trend here. This one is the stars of Flip or Flop. Tarek
because
and Christian.
It was trending. It was trending yesterday, so we're talking about it today.
It was trending yesterday. That's right. Christine and Tarek. Now, this is kind of crazy. This is what will, you flip houses, right? It can be stressful. And it doesn't, I wish this couple well, obviously. Nobody likes to see anybody split like that, especially the way they are publicly. And it's a little scary, too. If you read some of the articles, it looks like there could have been guns involved and possible suicide attempt. And, so pretty crazy endeavor. But they vowed to continue with Flip or Flop. So if you're a fan of Flip or Flop, it sounds like it's going to continue.
And then it's probably going to get a little bit more spicy, I imagine.
Yeah.
Especially when she brings her new boyfriend in to pick out some finish touches or something.
Right. Exactly.
Or he brings his new girlfriend to see what we picked up, honey.
Yeah, exactly. That could be a little dicey.
I've seen about 4 or 5 episodes of that show, and I'll tell you this: I'll probably watch it more now that I know that they're. Is that bad?
That is bad.
Knowing that.
Well, that's like you watch NASCAR only for the wrecks.
Right.
So you watch Flip or Flop only for the wrecks. All right, so that's going to conclude today's episode of 22 Minutes with Jayson and Stefan. We're out of time. So, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to what we have to say. Follow us on Twitter. Twitter handles are right above us. If you're on Periscope, follow me on Twitter or on Periscope. Did you have something you want to say?
No, sorry to interrupt. You froze on me, so I wanted to announce that you were frozen. But you're not frozen anymore, so
all right.
Let it go.
Let it go. That's an app. Frozen. Let it go. Buy, sell, or trade. Let it go. So anyway,
also a hit song from Frozen.
Head over to our Facebook page and like and share our Facebook page. If you're watching us on YouTube, the replay, give us that thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And until tomorrow, we will see you soon. Reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right. I was interpreting.